on the line, dreams on display. The EVP show keeps the drama in play. It's go, let's go, where the heroes rise and the legends grow. CJP brings the shots, you know. The EVP show, it's out of control.
What is going on, everyone? It's the EVP from the EVP show. I'm back after a much needed rest yesterday. I enjoyed the day off. I hope everyone enjoyed their Thursday. We actually got some snow today, and it was very cold. So I was out for a little bit, and I came in for the rest of the day. It was extremely cold out there today. I think we got about an inch or so of snow, something like that. So, but yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed their Thursday. Not a whole lot going on yesterday. Some football came on. Obviously, I'm sure everybody was watching that. But we are live for the Smackdown recap tonight. We are one day away from NXT Deadline. Shout out to everybody that tuned in Wednesday night with me and Lady Alpha from the Wrestling Divas podcast, and also Michael, one half of Kicking Out at 2 podcast when we did our NXT Deadline predictions. So, yeah, NXT Deadlines tomorrow. Pretty action-packed SmackDown tonight. They are going the route that I expected them to go. It looks like we're getting a NXT versus like the highest people in NXT, like the people that are about to be coming up to the main roster, going up against people that are actually on the main roster. Because there was actually a couple of matches already. Well, there's one match there's two matches that's official already for Saturday night's main event. And obviously I'll get to that before the end of the stream. It was very exciting. SmackDown. The main event had me a little bit nervous for a while, but I stuck with my pick of Gunther, and I said it 2 months ago, and, WrestleBoats tried to debunk it and say that, Cena and his dad went to WWE management, was unhappy about Gunther and all of that. So I figured LA Knight was going to win because I just figured they were going to cater to Cena. This is the last match. But it all goes back to what Michael Cole was saying before the match. Gunther's never lost a non-title match on the main roster. So, that's pretty incredible. That's definitely an incredible feat. He's still young. He's been champion majority of the time that he's been on the main roster. So it's not really that big of a shock that he's getting the push. LA Knight's great, but at the end of the day, I don't know where they go with town from here. He has been U.S. champion. He hasn't taken that big leap over. He's had world title matches. Obviously, he had a triple threat with Roman. But WWE is going with this. It looks like they're going to this theme that we talked about. Me and Michael were talking about on the Deadline recap and even on the Raw recap from Monday, where Gunther retired Bill Goldberg at Saturday night's main event. So he's going to do the same thing to John Cena. Unfortunately, I'm not being a Cena hater or anything like that. I do love what John Cena done for the business. He is the GOAT. But it's about, pushing the younger stars. He just lost to Dom at Survivor Series. So, I definitely see Gunther beating him at Saturday night's main event and retiring him similar to what he did to Bill Goldberg. So we are live on the EVP show. We're also live on my X, and we are live on Miami the Great's Twitter. Shout out to DWE and Gimmick Table Media as well. I feel a lot better. I got a day off. I was able to rest my vocal cords. And yeah, but WWE went into like speed motion tonight. Because they're going from Survivor Series to having to get ready for Saturday night's main event. And so I don't know how many matches they're going to have on the card for Saturday night's main event. Like, we already know, obviously, it's going to be John Cena and Gunther. It's going to be the main event. But Cody, like, I'll get into it during the stream, but Cody Rhodes is going to be taking on Ricky Saints or Obafemi at Saturday night's main event. I don't think it's for the title. It's just one of those things, an NXT versus a main roster star. And then they announced that, or Nick Aldis announced that Bailey would be going one-on-one with Lola Vice. Not Lola Vice, I'm sorry, Sol Ruka. I don't know why I keep Lola's on my mind because I think she's winning the Iron Woman match tomorrow at NXT Deadline. So yeah, so SmackDown aired live tonight. They were live from the Moody Center in Austin, Texas. We had Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary tonight. And tonight was going to be the finals, obviously, for the Last Time Is Now tournament with LA Knight and Gunther. It did not disappoint. If you look at the brackets before the match, LA Knight, I mean, he did face like what was it? I think he face like Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona or one of them. And then he beat The Miz. Gunther had a lot more difficult time getting through this tournament. He had to beat Javon Evans, and then he beat Carmelo, and then obviously he beat Solo Sikoa, and then he had to face LA Knight. So the road for Gunther getting to this finals match was a lot tougher than expected. So yeah. But they're live from the Moody Center in Austin, Texas. It's going to be a similar, like a fallout from Survivor Series. So let's get to it. Like I said, Michael Cole and Corey Graves are on commentary. They show a replay from War Games. You should see LA Knight in the back, getting his cowboy hat off the conveyor belt, putting it on. Alexa Bliss covering up Charlotte's goodies in her shirt, which was funny, and then she just pulled it right back out. It shows LA Knight, Alexa, and Charlotte arriving at the arena. And then we see Drew McIntyre pull up at the arena, but Nick Aldis stops him like dead entryway. Drew told Nick that his suspension is over, that Brian got the pin at War Games, that they won, so he should be not suspended anymore. Nick tells him that it's still in effect and he is not allowed inside. But before that happened, so then security stepped in and tells Drew to leave. Drew is frustrated, clearly, says he's not doing it for Nick, but so that security can make it home safe for their families tonight. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Cody Rhodes comes to the passenger side. I mean, this is that heel Cody that we've been talking about. He rushes in and attacks, bomb rushes Drew to the vehicle. Security quickly separates them and pulls Cody Rhodes off. Cody then storms to the backstage area and is heading to the ring. It's the first time I've seen Cody, well, not the first time I've seen aggression from Cody Rhodes like that, but he didn't whoa and all that when he come down to the ring. Like he was pissed off about, Drew jumping him in his tour bus. And so yeah, like he said, his wife's in there, 2 children in there. So Cody comes out to the ring. He asks Nick Aldis to reinstate Drew McIntyre. He said Drew crossed a line by showing up at his home away from home, his second house, a tour bus. Cody tells him, "You came into my home where my wife sleeps and my children play." He said Drew is like a cockroach, impossible to get rid of. He said, "I could drop 1.2 megatons on you or split an atom and you'd still be here because you are WWE's resident cockroach." So Cody, showing them heel signs. Cody said this fight could happen anywhere, but it needs to happen in a WWE ring. Drew never beat him, but maybe he broke him. He tells Nick Aldis to lift the suspension so he can stomp Drew out once and for all. And that was really all we got from that. So for me, it kind of seems like we're headed for a Cody Drew match, maybe on the first Raw on Netflix and on January 5th. They're looking to make that a big show, title matches, stuff like that. We already got Punk Breaker advertised. I can see that happening there. If it doesn't happen there, obviously they'll do it at the Royal Rumble. Is what it looks like to me. So we see Tommaso Ciampa saying he's planning to talk to Nick Aldis to get his United States title match. Johnny Gargano suggests they could also chase the tag team titles instead. As they're talking, Carmelo Hayes walks by and interrupts. He tells Tommaso Ciampa he might want to reschedule that title match because he has next. Then with a smirk, he calls Ciampa a jackass and keeps walking. Interesting stuff there. So then in the back, we see Damian Priest. Obviously, I mentioned this last Friday on the SmackDown recap. It looked like they were headed for a Priest, Rhea, Zelina Vega, Aleister Black little small program from what Rhea said to Priest about connecting with him after Survivor Series. Damian Priest said he's tired of hearing Cody talk in circles. He questions whether Cody really thinks he can break him or if he's just being delusional. Priest says Cody only delayed the inevitable and made things personal by involving. I don't know. Oh, okay, I got you. I see what you're talking about. Rhea steps in and says that Aleister should have known that she would be by Priest's side. They've been through everything. If Aleister thought she wouldn't get involved, he was wrong. She ended by saying next week it'll be them versus Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. The Terra Twins are back. So we're going to have Zelina Vega and Aleister Black against Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, the Terra Twins, next week. So the first matchup of the night was the Open Challenge, obviously, which was Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. Championship. We get a lockup. Carmelo Hayes hits a pie face on Ala, then a positive side headlock with a shoulder tackle. They trade chops. Ala landing a stiff one before Hayes fires back. Dragunov connects with a running boot to the head and sends Hayes into the turnbuckles. He follows with a running knee, but when he goes for a second, Hayes catches him with a thrust kick that knocks Dragunov to the apron. Back in control, Dragunov targets Carmelo's knee with a kick, then lands a brutal chop. He follows with a backdrop driver onto the edge of the apron. Carmelo fires back with a forearm, but Dragunov answers with a hard forearm and another chop. Dragunov continues the assault with a kick and a knee and slams Carmelo and goes to the turnbuckle for a knee drop, getting a near fall. Dragunov applies a reverse chinlock, then hits punches, a spinning back fist, and a back senton for another near fall. He grabs a front face lock, and they trade punches. Hayes surprises Dragunov with an inside cradle for a near fall. But Dragunov pops up with a clothesline and gets another close 2 count. Dragunov rains down elbows to the back of Carmelo's head and follows with a suplex for another near fall. Carmelo is in control. Really great match here, which was expected. Dragunov locks in a Fujiwara armbar, but Hayes powers up and connects with a knee strike. Dragunov blocks the next kick and hits a German suplex and holds on and hits the second one. Hayes managed to escape before Dragunov hits a wrist clutch suplex. So, Dragunov goes for the Constantine special, but misses, and Hayes capitalizes with a springboard clothesline. He follows up with the La Mystica and scores a near fall, almost a 3 count there. Hayes goes for the first 48, but Dragunov blocks it and powers through, turning it into a power bomb. Dragunov sets up for the H-bomb, but Carmelo gets his knees up just in time. As Dragunov bounces off the ropes, Hayes rolls him up for a near fall. Dragunov fires back with a kick, then hits a belly-to-back suplex into an elevated clothesline. He heads to the apron and climbs the turnbuckles, but Hayes recovers and nails him with a running drop kick, knocking Dragunov to the floor. Hayes follows up with a slingshot DDT onto the apron, then throws Dragunov into the ringside barrier. Hayes climbs to the top rope, but while the referee is checking on Dragunov, Ciampa appears and gives a low blow to Carmelo Hayes behind the official's back. Dragunov takes advantage, hitting the Torpedo Moscow, and then follows with an H-bomb for the 1-2-3. And still your United States heavyweight champion, the Mad Dragon, Dragunov. So he keeps winning, but he's got a lot of people that's waiting for him, waiting to knock on the door to get their next opportunity, which is what Tommaso Ciampa is going to face Dragunov next Friday on SmackDown. And then obviously we saw Tama Tonga later on getting his face. After the match, Dragunov watches the replay on the screen and sees how Ciampa interfered. He was very pissed. Backstage, Kathy Kelly is with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. She brings up their win at Survivor Series and asks if that victory came from putting their issues with Rhea Ripley aside. Charlotte says the win wasn't about Rhea, it was for Alexa. She admits she needs her and would be lost without her. So Charlotte's really digging into this story. So that's going to set up well when Alexa turns on her eventually. Alexa responds by joking that she's proud of Charlotte's social skills after Survivor Series. Charlotte then says their next goal is to win back the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. We return with the video package showing highlights from the tournament to determine John Cena's final opponent. Backstage, Kathy Kelly is with LA Knight. She asks what a win tonight would mean to him. LA Knight says he's not interested in talking about dream matches. He said it before, beating John Cena would cement his legacy. Only one man stands in his way now. He brings up Gunther's impressive resume, which Michael Cole also talked about this before the match. Gunther has never lost a non-title match on the main roster, which is super impressive. He said Gunther was a former U.S. champion and world champion, but he's also been an Intercontinental champion as well. I don't think he's been United States champion, just IC champion and world champion. So Gunther has never faced someone like him. Knight calls Gunther an unstoppable force and promises that tonight won't be any different. He ends by saying if it's a fight Gunther wants, then he's going to get it. Because just like everyone else, Gunther will be dropped on his head. So then we get to the next match, which is going to be one half of Alexa Bliss going up against one half of the women's SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Kairi Sane. Should part Kabuki Warriors with Asuka. So Kairi and Alexa lock up. They tie up again in the corner where Kairi lands some kicks after the break. Alexa sends Sane to the apron and tries to land a punch but misses. Sane hits a shoulder to Alexa's midsection but mistimes her move off the turnbuckles. They trade roll-ups for near falls. Sane slapped Alexa and mocked her height, which there's not many people that Kairi Sane is taller than, but she's a little taller than Alexa. Not much, just pretty close. Alexa fires back with a slap of her own and takes her down with an STO, and then follows with a flip senton. Sane rolls to the floor and tries to regroup, eventually getting in Charlotte Flair's face. Asuka takes advantage and sweeps Alexa's legs on the apron. Sane then delivers an Alabama slam into the ringside barrier. She and Asuka hug before continuing the match. Sane lands a chop, rolls in to beat the count, and then goes back to the floor, sending Alexa into the apron. Back in the ring, Kairi goes up top and hits a flying forearm for a near fall. Kairi keeps the pressure on with punches to the back of Alexa's neck. Alexa fights back with punches and kicks, but Sane wants more. She blocks a kick and hits a stiff forearm for another near fall. Kairi applies a Boston Crab, but Alexa reaches the ropes to force a break. While the referee is distracted by Sane, Charlotte Flair also gets the ref's attention, giving Asuka the opening to choke Alexa on the ropes. Sane follows up with a forearm to Alexa's back and gets a near fall. She keeps the pressure on with a running forearm in the corner, then slams Alexa down and climbs the turnbuckles. Alexa recovers and punches Kairi to cut her off. She climbs up for a superplex, but Kairi Sane blocks it, delivers a headbutt, causing Alexa to fall into the tree of woe. Kairi follows with a double stomp and gets another near fall. Kairi also goes for the sliding D, but Alexa moves and Sane crashes into the turnbuckle. Alexa fires back with a slap, a punch, a knee strike, and a drop kick. She follows with a blockbuster. As Alexa sets up for Sister Abigail, Asuka jumps on the apron to distract her. Sane rolls Alexa up from behind, but only gets a near fall. Charlotte takes Asuka out with a kick on the floor. Meanwhile, Sane hits Alexa with a spinning back fist and goes up top for the insane elbow. Alexa gets to her feet just in time, catches Sane in midair, and delivers Sister Abigail for the 1-2-3. Alexa Bliss comes down with the victory. We're setting ourselves, and then obviously after the match, we get another melee, just like we did Friday. We're setting up for like a huge, either fatal 4-way or could even be a 5-way tag match for the tag title. It's on that division on fire right now. After the match, Lash Legend and Nia Jax ambush Alexa and Charlotte from behind. Nia punches Alexa and follows with a Samoan drop to Charlotte Flair. Sane stands frozen in the corner, unsure of what to do. Asuka steps up, landing a back fist to Nia and kicks to Lash. Nia recovers with a pop-up headbutt. Sane tries to help with a sleeper on Nia, but Nia throws her off with a snap mare, and Lash drops Sane with a big boot. Nia climbs the turnbuckles for the Annihilator, but Asuka pulls Sane out of the ring just in time. Nia and Lash looking impressive. Are they going to be the ones to take those tag titles off of the Kabuki Warriors? Possibility. Backstage, Nick Aldis is seen talking to the referee, telling Daphne to keep an eye on the parking lot. Cody Rhodes arrives and tells Nick Aldis he's calmed down and asks if everything is okay. So they walk into the room. Ricky Saints and Oba Femi are in the office. They question why they're being called in after their match last night. Cody tells them that next week at Saturday night's main event, he wants to give the winner of their match tomorrow at NXT Deadline a big opportunity to face him in a match. So at Saturday night's main event, we are going to see Cody Rhodes go up against the winner of Ricky Saints and Oba Femi, whoever wins the NXT deadline tomorrow. I'm looking for a Cody Rhodes, Ricky Saints match. I really feel like that's really just going to take a shot at AEW right there. So, yeah, it's a big match for Saturday night's main event, whether it's Cody Ricky or Cody Oba. It's not going to be Cody Oba, though. They're not doing that this soon. There's just no way. It's going to be Cody Ricky. So Lash and Nia saw him backstage when Kathy Kelly approaches them. Kathy asks if the post-match attack was necessary. Nia tells her not to sneak up on them like that. She says the Kabuki Warriors got exactly what they deserve after Lash was misted. Lash says what happened was just a preview of what they're capable of. They're coming for the tag titles, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop it. So then we get our next matchup of the night, which is our WWE Women's SmackDown champion, Jade Cargill, going up against a member of the Secret Harvest, Alba Fire, accompanied by Chelsea Green. So Chelsea stands on the apron, showing off her tag team title belts, creating a distraction. Alba Fire takes advantage with a drop kick and starts throwing punches. Jade Cargill shoves her off, but Alba comes right back with a head scissors takedown and corner kicks, followed by another stiff kick. Alba goes for a tornado DDT, but Jade blocks it. Alba lands a thrust kick and chokes Jade on the ropes. Chelsea Green slaps Jade from the outside, and Alba follows up with a kick of her own. Suddenly, Kiana James appears with Julia by her side. Julia walks up and punches Chelsea Green. So here we go again with the vortex of the women's U.S. title. They really got to do something about that. Every time that the title changes hands, it seems like they're feuding with the person that the championship just came off of. Julia walks up and punches Chelsea Green. The match is still going on. Julia chasing Chelsea to the back. Alba gets distracted. Jade Cargill hits a spine buster, followed by a bicycle kick. And then Jade finishes her off with Jaded for the 1-2-3. Jade Cargill looking very impressive as the women's SmackDown champion. Backstage, Nathan Frazier says he and Axiom want a piece of Ciampa and Gargano. Axiom adds that they stole his mask, making it personal. Dragunov steps in and says Tommaso Ciampa has tarnished the image of the United States Championship. He says if Ciampa wants attention, then he'll get it. Dragunov demands the match. Nick Aldis agrees and gives Dragunov the match for next week. So next week, the Mad Dragon, either Dragunov, will defend against Tommaso Ciampa. Dragunov tells Frazier and Axiom that once he's done, they can have whatever's left of Ciampa. Dragunov turns around and walks straight into Tama Tonga. So, they teased that a little bit last week, and they're right back to it again. So Sikoa quickly pulls Tama aside and tells him it's time to go. Backstage, Jade Cargill walks to the hallway and crosses paths with B-Fab. Jade tells her she saw what she did to Alba Fire and says it should have reminded her of something. Michin then steps in and immediately shuts it down, saying whatever Jade's planning isn't going to happen. Jade fires back, calling Michin B-Fab's lapdog. Michin suggests that they should go talk to Nick Aldis, and Jade agrees, and she says she will do it herself. So like I said on SmackDown Recap last week, it looks like until they can get some stronger competitors for Jade Cargill, whether it's Tiffany coming back, Bianca, Charlotte, or something like that, it looks like she's going to be having these one-offs with Michin and B-Fab. So out in the arena, Solo Sikoa with the rest of the MFT make their way to the ring. Solo grabs a mic and says he kept his word. Sami Zayn was a problem, and they took him out. Now it's time to move forward. He turns his attention to the Wyatts. Solo calls out Uncle Howdy, saying he knows Howdy has been watching them, but Solo has been watching too. Solo formally introduces himself, making it clear this is his ring, his show, and his family tree. He says the Wyatt family is in possession of something that rightfully belongs to the bloodline, the tag team championships. He reminds Uncle Howdy that sneak attacks won't work with him. When Solo strikes, people don't come back. His family isn't just here to fight, they are here to hurt. He was taking some shots. Solo warned Uncle Howdy to pay close attention. Everything that once belonged to Howdy, as Solo points to the sky, referring to Bray Wyatt, which is getting really deep, now belongs to him. He vows to take the love, the legacy, and the name. Solo ends with a chilling message. He said he will strip Howdy of the Wyatt's name because he can. All he has to do is leave. After Solo finishes his message to Uncle Howdy, the rest of the group leave the ring. Solo is left alone. The screen flashes, obviously, with the Wyatt 6 stuff, with the blipper, and the arena goes dark. When the lights come back on, the Wyatt faction is surrounded the ring, standing on the apron. Solo turns around, and Uncle Howdy is standing right behind him. The fight was on. It was basically a brawl. Nikki Cross even jumped on one of them and just got slung. I think it was JC Mateo, and he took her and he slung her off. This match has been brewing for a while, but there was injuries. But this is gonna bang for sure. So Solo and Howdy throw the first punches. A massive brawl breaks out with both factions spilling into the ring. Eric Rowan unleashes a flurry of kicks and clotheslines, clearing the ring until he's left standing across from Tala Tonga. Rowan and Tala trade heavy punches. Tala lands a boot, but Rowan fires back and kicks Tala out of the ring, standing tall for a moment. Backstage, the Miz stormed into Nick Aldis' office, calling it a travesty that he isn't John Cena's final opponent. He insists he should be the star of Saturday night's main event. Nick reminds Miz he saw exactly what he pulled last week and that not just anyone gets booked for that stage. So then we see Bayley walk in and thanks Nick for booking her for Saturday night's main event. And she's wondering who her opponent's going to be, and in comes the infamous Sol Ruca from NXT. She steps in as her announced opponent. Bayley says Sol is impressive, but competing on Raw and SmackDown is a different level. Sol tells her that's exactly what she's looking for. Bayley smirks and says she'll be watching her at Deadline. Loving that. Can't wait to see Bayley and Sol Ruca at Saturday night's main event. Kathy Kelly is with Gunther and asks about his approach to tonight's match. Gunther says it doesn't matter where you're from or what language you speak. Ring General always translates to victory. He's confident he'll beat LA Knight tonight and then defeat John Cena in his final match next week. He acknowledges the hunger of the other superstars, but says the outcome of the tournament is a foregone conclusion. Gunther tells Cena he may not be able to see John, but John will see him, and not just see him win, but see how he wins. So the message was shot out there to John Cena. Gunther said he's going to beat Knight tonight. He's going to retire Cena. So in the back, we see the dark, ominous Aleister Black speaking in a dark, focused tone. He says there's something deeply broken inside Damian Priest. He described watching a man who was clearly drowning, trying to convince the world that his head was above water. Aleister Black brings up how Priest talks about people he once called friends who turned out not to be. He says when he walked away, he left Priest as a perfect monster, but now standing beside him is Rhea Ripley. Selena Vega, wrapped around her neck, a big, huge white snake, steps in, calling Rhea succubus, someone who latches on to drain your soul. She says the Judgment Day Priest once knew is gone, and the so-called Terror Twins are nothing more than a reminder of how far he's fallen. Aleister Black ends it by saying if Priest truly wants to walk through the inferno, then he'll be the one to guide him through it. So next week, we're going to see Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, Tommaso Ciampa versus Ilya Dragunov for the United States Championship, and also Alexa Bliss versus Lash Legend. So we get to the main event, and this has been quite the tournament. I think it's been underwhelming with the people that was in it. Like I said Gunther a long time ago, and I stuck with it. A lot of people are mad, crying about it all over X, but it is what it is. They'll get over it. So we see LA Knight come out first, and then we see the old NXT UK theme with Gunther. Gunther starts things off by punching LA Knight. Knight quickly fires back. Gunther responds with thunderous chops and sets up for a powerbomb, but Knight counters with a back body drop. Knight follows with a kick and sets up for the BFT, but Gunther slips out and rolls to the floor. Knight stays aggressive, hitting a drop kick through the ropes and slamming Gunther into the announce table multiple times. LA Knight sends Gunther flying over the announce table, then climbs the turnbuckles to pose for the crowd. Gunther recovers and shoves LA Knight back into the ring, following up with a European uppercut. Gunther lands several punches to Knight's shoulder, but Knight fights back with the punches of his own. LA Knight whips Gunther into the corner but runs into a boot. Gunther comes out with a clothesline, then kicks Knight while he's down. Gunther tries for a suplex, but Knight lands on his feet, hits a neck breaker for a near fall. LA Knight connects with a kick, but Gunther slams him to the mat and drops a forearm to the top of his head. LA Knight fires back with punches, but Gunther grabs him into a sleeper hold. LA Knight breaks free, sends Gunther to the floor. LA Knight goes out to the floor, throwing Gunther into the ringside barrier. Gunther answers with a stiff chop and drops Knight with a backdrop driver onto the apron. Once back in the ring, Gunther delivers a series of knees in the corner. LA Knight fights back and sends Gunther to the mat, but misses a follow-up elbow drop. Knight blocks an Irish whip and punches Gunther, but Gunther quickly regains control with a brutal Irish whip and a kick to Knight's back. Gunther lands a stiff chop and keeps control of Knight's arm. He follows with a second chop, then a third. He goes for another, but Knight ducks and fires back with a firing clothesline. Knight picks up momentum with an Irish whip, followed by a jumping neck breaker. He sets up for another BFT, but Gunther blocks that one. Gunther goes for a German suplex, but Knight elbows his way out. LA Knight rolls him up with an O'Connor roll for a close to a near about 2 3/4. Gunther kicks out, immediately locks in a sleeper hold. But LA Knight floats over and reverses it, lands on top of him, and nearly scores the pinfall victory. LA Knight fires up and hits a Death Valley driver, then follows with a burning. He throws a series of punches, but Gunther responds with hard chops and forearms. Gunther blasts Knight with a boot to the head, then follows with another. LA Knight rebounds with a clothesline, but Gunther bounces off the ropes, and they both hit clotheslines at the same time, knocking each other down. Back on their feet, they trade punches again. LA Knight mixes in chops and kicks, then charges into the corner with a running hip attack to keep the pressure on. Gunther locks in a sleeper hold again, but LA Knight counters with a belly-to-back suplex to break free. Knight climbs to the turnbuckles, looking for the catchphrase elbow, but Gunther rolls out of the way, and Knight lands on his feet. Gunther charges with a dropkick, but LA Knight escapes a follow-up powerbomb and hits a DDT. LA Knight heads back to the turnbuckles and this time connects with the catchphrase elbow, scoring a near fall. LA Knight sets up for the BFT, but Gunther countered with a German suplex. Knight clutches his neck as Gunther follows up with a leg-assisted neck snap. So Gunther goes to work on the injured LA Knight's neck. Gunther then levels him with a clothesline and heads to the top rope. LA Knight cuts him off, but Gunther fights back with chops to the back of LA Knight's neck. LA Knight fires back with punches and tries for a suplex, but Gunther blocks it and shoves him to the mat. Gunther hits a frog splash, then climbs back up, lands a second one, this time to Knight's back, but only gets a count of 2. Gunther delivers a powerbomb, which he's beaten so many people with, but LA Knight kicks out. Gunther waits for Knight to rise, but LA Knight explodes and hits the BFT, which he has Gunther beat, but he lands really close to the rope. So Gunther gets his right foot on the rope before the count of 3. Gunther traps LA Knight in a sleeper hold, then drops elbows constantly, just non-stop, into his clavicle before locking the sleeper back in, this time adding body scissors for extra pressure. LA Knight fights to his feet and tries to lift Gunther off the mat, but Gunther stops him with more elbows. Like it's just like 12, 14, 16 elbows straight to LA Knight's neck. Gunther transitions into a craven hold and leans back, wrenching LA Knight's neck and spine into a brutal contortion. Has him in the center of the ring LA Knight tries to fight it off for a couple of minutes, but eventually LA Knight taps out. And your winner of the Last Time Is Now tournament and will go on to the main event of Saturday night's main event to face the Never Seen 17, the GOAT John Cena, is the Ring General Gunther. So yeah, it was a really good show. Next week we're going to see Alexa Bliss going up against Lash Legend, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, and Tommaso Ciampa going after that United States Championship against Ilya Dragunov. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the SmackDown recap. The Last Time Is Now tournament is now over, so you will see Gunther on Raw as they they finish the build, because next week will be the 2 go-home shows before Saturday night's main event. It was the right call. Gunther needed a win. I said it 2 months ago, and it definitely happened, so I'm happy about that. Shout out to, like I said, DWE, Gimmick Table Media. We have 120 viewers live watching right now on the EVP show, my ex and Miami's ex as well. So I will go ahead and go to my outro, and then I will be back to tell you where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up in store for you guys. So don't go anywhere. Shout out to DWE Replays for reposting the stream and Wrestling RUS podcast.
CJP's your guide, let's start the show. Tag teams breaking, factions shaking. He's got the scoop for moves they're faking. Built on the line, dreams on display. The EVP show keeps the drama in play. It's good, let's go, where the heroes rise and the legends grow. CJP brings the shots, you know. The EVP show, it's out of control.
Let's go. I love that. Let's go at the end. Like I said, shout out to everyone watching tonight on the EVP show, my ex, or Miami the Great's ex. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the SmackDown recap tonight. Next week, we're headed for a big week. We'll have Raw. Obviously, tomorrow will be NXT Deadline. So I hope you guys are able to tune into that at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central is the start time or the pre-show. So yeah, I'll be streaming after NXT Deadline goes off. But where you can find me on my socials, obviously I am the golden boy of DWE, but you can find me on X at EVPCJP, on Instagram also at EVPCJP, and if you're looking for me on TikTok, I'm starting to post a lot on there about my streams. You can find me at Brady DAGOAT21, at Brady the Goat 21. And most importantly, you can find me on my YouTube channel that's at the bottom of the screen and up in the top right corner is at the EVP Show. Please like and subscribe to my channel. If you guys don't mind, please like and leave comments on the stream tonight on my YouTube channel, because that puts my shows and my streams in the algorithm, and that's the whole purpose here, is try to get more subs, get more people watching, get more eyes on the product, and get the streams like flowing in the algorithm where people are able to watch it all over the world. So what I have coming up for you guys, I have a busy week coming up. Tomorrow, after NXT deadline, I will be back here live on the EVP Show at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the NXT deadline recap show. Sunday, I'll be off. It's football day. I don't stream on Sundays. Monday, I will be back 11 p.m. Eastern for the Raw recap as we see the Ring General Gunther on Monday Night Raw as he gets ready for his showdown with John Cena at Saturday night's main event. Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be live with the CEO himself of DWE, Miami the Great, as we cover the NFL Week 14 recap. We are getting close to the end of the season. Later on that night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, I will be back to cover the NXT recap. What will be the fallout from NXT deadline leading to New Year's Evil? I'm not quite sure 100% yet. I will have to let you guys know either tomorrow or Monday, Wednesday or Thursday night. It'll be one of the two at 7 p.m. Eastern. I will be live. Not sure on the guest yet. Still working on that. For Saturday night's main event predictions, I will go over the matches that I know of. Obviously, hopefully they're all announced by then, and they don't wait all the way to SmackDown to announce all of them. Hopefully, we get all of the matches announced by the time the prediction show is. That will be Wednesday or Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then I will be back Friday for the SmackDown recap, the go-home show right before Saturday night's main event. And then Saturday, it's the last time is now for John Cena. This is the last final match before he retires. He goes up against Gunther at Saturday night's main event. And who will face Cody Rhodes? Will it be Cody Rhodes versus Ricky Saints or Cody Rhodes versus Obafemi? And we also have Bayley going up against Sol Ruka. So that's 3 matches already in store for Saturday night's main event. So it's going to be a big one. That being said, I will be back after Saturday night. After Saturday night's main event goes off the air, I will be back to break down John Cena's last match and Saturday night's main event with the Saturday night main event recap. And that's it for me, guys. It's a super busy week. A lot of content coming out next week. Shout out to Miami, World of Greg, for helping me with the videos and stuff and retweets. DWE replays, obviously, for reposting the stream. Wrestling RU podcast. We have 121 viewers. There's a couple of shows. I think that Lady Alpha and them have a show going on right now, the Aftermath, as well. So give them Wrestling Divas podcast. And also kicking out at 2 from Gimmick Table Media, Suds. Also give all of them a follow and a subscription on YouTube as well. With that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the NXT deadline recap. I am the EVP from the EVP Show and the motherfucking golden boy of DWE. And I am out. Deuces, ooses. See you guys tomorrow night at 10:30.